In the end, all things appears in the now, and it has its reality in the now. It is the now which gives the perceptions its reality. Only then they have a certain reality. They have an expanded reality. But at the end, it belongs to the now, to the present. All what appears is a prolongation, an expansion of the now, of consciousness, of awareness. It brings you back to your real nature. All what is done emphasizes not on the object part, but on the ultimate subject part, consciousness. Listening of which we are speaking is free from all memory. There's no expectations. There's no goal. In this listening, we are looking away from the goal. We're looking away from the target. So it is unconditioned listening. In listening, the listening is open to itself. It refers to itself. And at the end, it knows itself by itself. So generally, when the mind is not informed that you are behind all sense perceptions, then you are more or less fixed to the sense perceptions. So your question, if there are other forms of objects which reveals your real nature, I would say these are objects which points directly to beauty. That means these are objects which has been conceived, produced in beauty. And these objects, the artist which offers it to you in a certain way, don't emphasize the object part of its producing. It is why he produced it in a very economic way. He frees the object of its objectivity. So the listener or the person who will look at it will be free from the senses and brought back to real beauty. The artist has, from time to time, this feeling of absolute beauty, free from the person. And in this state, free from the person, the artist likes, I would say, to thanking, to be allowed to be. And this thanking brings him to offering. He offers it. And the object which he offers is free from any anecdotic part and free from keeping it for the senses. So in a certain way, he shares with you the beauty, his beauty and your own beauty in oneness. It is so in listening to music, and is also in looking at any art objects, sculpture, painting, architecture, and so on. Dass the personality, the character, or what we call the individual, has its reality in this oneness, in love. It is so on every level. Every activity in its own level refers to this oneness. Otherwise, there's a moment, there's no more stimulation. It is this oneness which gives life to all activities. If the moment we believe in this restricted being of personality to personality, of man and woman, then you can be sure there's not only a kind of degeneration in its form of energy, but there's constant compulsion. Because the personality is completely insecure, looks for security. The moment it doesn't refer to the oneness. So there's only asking, demanding. So you must refer to the original encounter you as a man, as a woman. That means love. Fear is first a perception. You feel fear. And then feeling, you qualify it, you name it, you say fear. But the word fear is memory, refers to a certain pattern, but you have the notion what you mean by fear. So the idea fear doesn't refer to the actual fear, to the actual perception. So pedagogically, I would say, free yourself from the concept fear. Then you face really the perception, which is localized in your body. See in this moment how you function. You try to change the fear. You try to escape. You try by all means to refuse it. And in refusing, escaping, you give more or less fuel to the fear. When you see it really, there's a moment natural that you allow the fear to be fear. And it becomes energy, really energy at life. You accept it completely. It is not psychological acceptance, but it is functional acceptance. You accept it to know it more deeply. Then the perception refers completely to your accepting. It is in this accepting position that what you accept frees itself and it dissolves in you, in your presence. It reveals really what you are profoundly. Live with the fear more and more deeply. Accept it. Even love it. You are not more bound to it. The moment you are not more bound to it, the moment you are not more involved in it, it frees itself. It is a reaction. But in accepting it, you go completely through the fear. You remain completely witness to it. It vanishes in your witnessing. It means intimate living. You are able to do it. I think in daily life, we should come often back to the starting point. And the starting point, you can never think of it. Because the moment you think of the starting point is already in the past. The starting point is the presence, the eternal now. All flows out from the now and all appears and disappears in the now. And the now is a kind of original perception. It is a direct perception where you know yourself in your totality. But there's not a knower. There's only known.